Hello, everyone, and welcome back at it again with another episode of Wait for it, wait for it, wait for the Playlist Shuffle podcast. What you thought this was? Come on now. Hopefully, y'all listened to the last episode that we put out there featuring the greatest strength from Jujutsu Kaisen Zero. I kept telling people that I was preaching on there. I'm telling you, that song had me going. It had my spirit. It truly had my spirit, and it just took me over. Hopefully y'all get to hear it. Hopefully you get to listen to the podcast episode. If you haven't already, please listen to it. It's on Spotify and will soon be uploaded to YouTube. Now, from one piece of animation to another, and we are going to cross into the Spiderverse. Yep, it just got real. Particularly the sequel. We're starting off with Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Let me just say this. Never would I thought in my years that Metro Boomin would be a part of a Marvel-inspired franchise. It was something that was never on my bingo card. I'm telling y'all, I never thought that would ever happen. Then again, I never thought that Sway Lee would be in the Spider-Verse as well. So there you go. But here we are now, and I gotta give a round of applause to Metro Boomin for what he did on Across the Spider-Verse album. I don't know what it is about Sony and these Spider-Verse albums, but they've been going off. I mean, I'm still listening to Into the Spider-Verse album from back in late 2018, early 2019, whenever that movie was released. That album went off. You hear me? I mean, Sunflower made numbers. Shout out to everybody who worked on that. We may talk about that later on in the podcast. So what I want to do, particularly for Across the Spider-Verse, I'm going to make it a multi-part series. At least two, because there are at least two songs that I really want to talk about. So one episode is dedicated to one song, and the next will be dedicated to the other. For today's episode, we are going to be talking about a song that was introduced at the very beginning of the movie. Boy, when I tell you, when the beat came on, when I saw this in theaters and the beat came on, y'all don't understand how hard I was bopping my head. I mean, God, that beat went off on them speakers. I gotta say, that beat. But this hopped on early in the movie, and this was diving into Gwen Stacy, aka Spider-Woman's backstory, particularly what happened within her universe before she got to meet Miles Morales in his universe. So this song is called Self-Love by Metro Boomin and Coi Leray. And I gotta give my honest opinion here. I think this might be one of Coi Leray's best, if not the best song. And the more I listened to it and the more my interpretation started coming up and the more I rewatched this movie, I think this might be her best song. I don't know, but we're going to talk about it. Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I don't know what it was when that song played during the movie, and it was just stuck in my head for almost all the 2 hours of the movie, and then I finally went to my car, and I blasted that album. I blasted that song. Whoo! The way these lyrics were crafted. First of all, the chorus. I don't know if it's technique. It had to be technique. There was some coordination within that chorus that was, honestly, I think it was on a level of genius. And I'm going to talk about it when I get there. You just wait for me. But, all right. So we're going to get into this interpretation. Well, first, we got to give credit to everyone who's credited on that song. All right, so like I said, this song is called Self-Love, and the artist Metro Boomin and Coi Leray, written by and it's quite a number of people. Brittany Talia Hazard, Andre Proctor, Coi Leray Collins, Johan Lennox, Leland Wayne, and I'm sorry if I messed this one, Mech D. Rars. If I messed up your names, I'm sorry. But these are those who are accredited on these songs, so applause, standing ovation for this song, and everyone on this song, and everyone who took part in it. Okay, so let's talk about the song placement here. It's in the intro during the Gwen Stacy backstory. We see her quit the band that she was in. She was basically raging on the drums because she's been having her feelings trapped inside her. She's not open to her feelings. She's been letting them out on the drums. Her band members are trying to talk to her, get to know her more, but she's not having it. She walks out in the band, she quit. And so then we get into the whole montage of her story. Gwen Stacy is narrating and all that stuff, and we get into this whole fantastic animation here. And a quick mention about the animation here. I like this style here when you see some of the buildings are clear, but everything else, as far as the depth of field, a lot of things are like these blurred drawings. I don't know. To me, that speaks, that really helps with the visual storytelling of just how isolated Gwen feels. Anyway, continue on with her backstory. So in her universe, she's actually best friends with Peter Parker. The thing is, though, this Peter Parker, or this version of Peter Parker, he actually doesn't become Spider-Man. He actually becomes the villain known as that lizard villain, that green lizard villain within the Spider-Man franchise. I keep forgetting his name. He crashed this event at their school, which I guess it was a homecoming dance, and he and Gwen, who was Spider-Woman, they get into a fight, but ultimately he dies because he was crushed by the production rigs from the ceiling that dropped right on him. And his last words to Gwen was, "I just wanted to be special like you, Gwen." So he already knew her identity, but she never knew that. This basically explains why her character just seems pretty isolated and introverted, because she's been dealing with trauma, and that trauma has made her not want to open up to others. Others including her father, who is a cop, and he arrived at the scene where Peter died and Gwen was hugging him, and she had to leave once he showed up. And so he got on this whole, we're gonna hunt Spider-Woman down and arrest her for murder. And then when the moment arrived where she did open up to her dad, he really felt betrayed because she kept it as a secret for so long, and he couldn't set aside his pride and his duty, because even at that point he still wanted to arrest her. But events happened where these other Spider-Men showed up from a different universe, and they recruited her to go along with them to the Spider-Man headquarters. And so she hasn't seen her dad ever since, for months. To describe this song, obviously it's urban trap, but it definitely focuses on vulnerability, isolation, and it's very personal. I don't know Coi Leray like that. I don't know where she comes from. I don't know her life. I'm not sure if this song could be through her perspective, or she really crafted the song really well to match Gwen's life. But there's some of these lyrics that really pop up that I try to research it, and some things seems to be within her own perspective too. Meaning Koi's perspective. The song truly tackles the negative impact of self-love, especially in relationships, and how it could be how it could violate the positives within the relationships as far as trust. Like I mentioned earlier, she's unable to be open about her feelings, but because of that, it's because she feels that wherever she goes, people get hurt. The thing about the whole Spider-Man universe story is that every Spider-Man, they go through losses and sacrifices. Sacrifices like responsibility, losing their livelihood, and they lost someone who were special to them. Some Spider-Man have lost, the famous Uncle Ben, or they lost, some of them have lost a Gwen Stacy. Some of them have lost a Peter Parker. Some of them have even lost an Aunt May. And ultimately, you as a Spider-Man are going to accept that you can't save everyone. And that was one of the themes from this movie. And we're going to dive into the details of the lyrics and interpret from the perspective of the artist and to Gwen Stacy. So we're going to skip into the first verse right here, where she says, "Small town love, fall down love, not medicated, drink too much, think too much, thoughts drowning me, I'm too high, please don't cry, stop doubting me, you don't know love, you just show love, stop downing me." It's deep. Within this verse, it seems that we focused on how the journey starts, basically like the backstory. But with here, it addresses the confines of alcohol to escape these drowning thoughts that they are having. And this could be Coi Leray's background. Again, I'm not sure. To correlate it to Gwen's perspective, this could be when she was in the band and she had to limit herself to playing drums in order to escape these drowning thoughts that she's having, or really to get those thoughts out of her head. That was her basically expressing herself. We skip to the second verse where it says, "Big dreams, yeah. Big screams, yeah. She's impressionable. Hate to see, yeah. Money scheme, yeah. Living questionable. My friends drive new Beamers, drop top convertibles. Love hanging out. Say you hate it now. Feeling introvertical." So she had big dreams and big aspirations that she wanted to live within her future. But I think it came up to some sort of disappointment that led to discouragement in a way. So there was a little bit of a clash there, or a huge obstacle. And ultimately it seemed to have led to some isolation. And then the part where it says, where she talks about best friends living these lavish lives, you can only hang out with people so many times, and then you're feeling introvertical. So somewhere in our lives that we always have friends who, encourage us to go out and have fun and all that stuff. But some of us, we like to be left alone. We don't want to go out. We just want to stay inside and isolate ourselves. Gwen Stacy, her being in the band, and she didn't want to do it anymore. She ultimately quit. While the song is playing and she's walking in the streets of New York, she's on the subway train, and she's like the only one in color, which again, the visual technique there of isolation. Now to the chorus and the refrain. She says, self-love, he don't love himself, trying to love me, cuff me, told the truth to him, he don't trust me. Self-love, he don't love himself, trying to love me, cuff me, told the truth to him, he don't trust me. Oh my, she's a long way from suburban towns, came to the city for the love, got her hurting now. Oh my, she's a long way from suburban town, long way, really long way from suburbia. So that refrain about, coming from a small town, going to the big city, dealing with the life adjustments, and being a long way from the comfort of home, came to the city to find love, got her hurting now. So this sort of addresses the big dreams from the second verse. She ended up with disappointment, and it happens to the best of us. But the chorus here is where the technique of the lyricism comes in. She says, self-love, he don't love himself, trying to love me. This has to be talking about her friendship with Peter Parker. He doesn't get a lot of lines here, but this song sums him up. Not just Gwen, but him as well. Self-love, he don't love himself, trying to love me. Peter Parker was bullied at school a lot. Because of that, he didn't have the self-love nor the self-confidence to stand up for himself. And ultimately, he became friends with Gwen and relied on her love and her admiration to fill that void that he couldn't fill for himself, until ultimately he became the villain. The next line goes, cuff me, told the truth to him, he don't trust me. The cuff me part, Miles been trying to cuff Gwen. He really wanted to be with her and take their friendship to another level, but she kept blowing him off. When she reconnects with Miles Morales, she was holding out on him about Miles' existence as Spider-Man. That, spoiler alert, Miles Morales wasn't actually supposed to be Spider-Man. It just so happened that a spider from another dimension bit him and he became Spider-Man, but that was never supposed to be. And because he became Spider-Man, the Spider-Man in Miles' universe died protecting Miles when he fought that Green Goblin. And she knew that because when she became part of the Spider-Man headquarters that's supposed to address these things within the Spiderverse, she never told Miles. And so when she revealed that she knew, Miles felt betrayed. Then I realized it goes deeper than that, because when she said cuff me, that she was talking about Gwen Stacy's dad being a cop, and that he was trying to arrest Spider-Woman for murder on Peter Parker. This cuff me part, there's two interpretations to that. One being that Gwen's dad trying to cuff her in handcuffs for murder, and two, Miles Morales trying to cuff her into a relationship. Told the truth to him. Gwen told her dad the truth about her real identity, and then she revealed to Miles that she knew the real truth about Miles' existence. He don't trust me. Her dad didn't trust her for an amount of time, and then Miles didn't trust her. That had to be intended. I wish I could ask, but that line is genius. Whether that was intended or not, I think that was genius. That's why I say I think this might be Coi Leray's best song, if not one of the best. Then there's an instrumental break that lingers on the whole isolation emotion with the strings and the violins. And then at the very end, it comes on again, but there's a clip there's an audio clip from the movie where Gwen says, in every other universe, Gwen Stacy falls for Spider-Man, and in every other universe, it doesn't end well. And then Miles responds with, well, it's the first time for everything, right? So that line sort of takes you back. For those who have seen like every Spider-Man movie, you remember the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man version where he and Gwen Stacy, they fall in love, but Gwen ended up dying when she fell from the top of the clock tower. If you're a Spider-Man fan, you understand where Gwen is coming from. And that's why I love this whole Spiderverse franchise, because they do really great job at these callbacks and embellishing them and turning them into a unique storyline. Spider-Man is my favorite hero. So this is a very awesome take of the whole Spider-Man universe, Spider-Man franchise. Connecting the dots, literally connecting the dots, or connecting the universes of every Spider-Man that we have gone through, and showcasing even more Spider-Man. There is a T-Rex Spider-Man in this movie, and I need to know how and where this Spider-Man came from. I need to know. I really hope that there is a backstory to the T-Rex Spider-Man. I need to know what and how this happened. There is a animated Spider-Man, which became my favorite from the first movie, but a T-Rex Spider-Man, I need answers. I have a whole bunch of questions. That's going to do it for this episode of the Playlist Shuffle podcast. Talked about Self-Love by Metro Boomin Coi Leray. Fantastic job, fantastic lyricism in this song. The album is great overall. The album is absolutely fantastic. So we're going to come back in the next episode and talk about another song from that particular album. And y'all let me know if you want me to talk about the album from the first movie, and I will do just that. But please follow us on the Playlist Shuffle podcast on Spotify. Please follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Please, we're trying to build our YouTube and our TikTok page going. So please follow us on those social media platforms. Please listen to all our other episodes and let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any other interpretations that you would like to share. Until then, it's been your boy Jay Malley, and we'll see you next time.